Hello everybody, my name is Tomas De Mattias. I'm here for video with Peter Lalonde from Masv. And the solution that you guys have brought to the table is really, really specific for video production. We in the video production industry have been using tools like WeTransfer or Dropbox to really manage a workflow when we have to work collaboratively. But you guys have built a tool specifically for video that is solving all these problems in a better way. Tell us about it.
Correct. Yeah, applications like WeTransfer and Dropbox are fantastic. WeTransfer more so for video producers who have to move larger files, but when the video files are getting bigger and bigger as we get into the 4K world and we get into much more complex productions, it becomes very difficult to move files. And smaller production houses don't have the ability to have Aspera or Signate in-house. It's too expensive. The startup costs are just way too expensive for smaller production houses. So we have a philosophy that says we've been in the business of accelerating networks for a long time. Why not build an application specific to the people who we can help the most? And that right now is creative professionals in the video space for media and entertainment. And we have an application that is very similar in several ways to WeTransfer, but with no file size limits and much faster. And it is significantly less expensive than Aspera or Signate.
And you guys are following a trend that we're seeing in the video industry, across many different brands, which is that there were tools who were originally designed for the primary content creators, which were the broadcast houses. And now we're seeing that most of the media is being created by consumers, by small production houses. And so these tools that were originally only available in formats that only broadcast could afford, now we need those tools as video creators, just small houses, or even just as a consumer video content producer. So you guys are tackling this vision and this specific target. Do you want to talk about more of the specifics of how you guys do that?
Well, yeah, I think one of the key things that you said there is that we're making something available to the masses. So for the smaller producers, the post-production houses, we're democratizing. I hate to use that term, but we're democratizing the production era. And video production is very expensive, and the price keeps coming down. Well, why can't the file transfers be easier? Why can't it be easier to move things from point A to point B? It seems really silly in today's day and age that people are shipping hard drives around.
That is medieval. That is crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe that happens, but it does, and it happens a lot. So we want to eliminate that. We often talk about the different levels of urgency with file transfers. Well, some files, it doesn't matter how long it takes. It gets there. Maybe you're archiving something. Doesn't matter. But when you absolutely need to get something to, maybe you're heading up to a production deadline, you've got to keep your schedule on track, and if files have to get there on time, that's when you're going to turn and you're going to use Masv.io. That's what we're there for. And we're going to give you the ability to make sure that your customer actually received it, right? They received the file, they received it, you got notified, you have an audit trail, and a lot of our post-production houses love the fact that we only charge you for what you use, and you get a detailed summary of what you've used, which then you can charge back to your customer. And that's one of the reasons this has taken off. And in the first couple of hours of IBC this year, we actually closed several deals. And the reason is there's a lot of pent-up demand. We want to change not just the way that the ease of use of transferring files, but we want to make it easier for you to make money. We want it to be easier for you to get your job done. Let's get technology out of the way. Let's keep it simple. Everything needs to be a lot easier, and if you walk around IBC, there's a lot of stuff that's really complex. A lot of the media asset managers are fantastic, but they seem to be growing and becoming more and more complex. We want to eliminate that complexity and make sure that you have the ability to send files and get money back from your customer so that you can have a more profitable business.
Absolutely. So for the new media creators out there, this is the kind of tools and the trends that we're seeing that are becoming something that we can really use as comparison with the tools that more broadcast type of content was being created, which is, as you're saying, is becoming just more and more complex as we go into digital, right? One of the things that you pointed out is, that I agree with completely, is that it is absurd that we are physically shipping supports with bytes, from one place. I work in productions where we had a runner being ready to take the USB to, the client. It's like, why? It's just data. Why can't we just send it? We are connected, right? Tell us a little about more, just to finalize, about the vision of Masv, because this is what you guys are doing now. You're just, launching this, but what is in the run for the next couple months and years?
So the mission is to actually integrate directly into your workflow. So the tools that you're using today, we want to integrate into that. So in the coming months, we're going to be releasing our public API, so you're going to be able to integrate into your media asset manager or your client's media asset manager. So rather than even having to use our interface, you're going to be able to be within your own tools and then select a destination that the endpoint is the media asset management of your client, so that it eliminates all the complexity. So it's there when you need it to be there. The next step is, of course, in January, we're going to be launching our corporate edition. So the enterprise edition of Masv.io for the broadcasters and for larger production houses that need a branded portal, that want it integrated into all of their systems with more security, more user administration capabilities. That's going to be coming out in January. So you'll see us at NAB with a big launch around that as well.
That's wonderful. And finally, just to communicate to our audiences, what does this thing cost? How is it being priced?
Yeah, so the pricing is very simple. And that's the key thing, the key takeaway here, is everything that we do is simple. Even the pricing is simple. And that means that you can understand exactly how much you're going to need to spend on a given production, because we are going to be charging just based on usage. So it's 30 cents a gigabyte, and that's it. And you get that audit report. It tells you exactly how much you spent, and you can now turn that around and charge back to your customer.
Just to clarify, when we talk about 30 cents per gigabyte, we're talking about if I need to move 2 gigabytes or 1 gigabyte of footage, it's 30 cents, and that's for putting it in the platform, keeping it there for a little bit until someone can download it. All of that is 30 gigabyte.
Correct, absolutely. No hidden costs, no surprises.
Yep. So that's wonderful. Thank you very much, Peter. Nice to see you. I'm glad to see that there's brands who really are thinking about the new media creators out there who really need to be flexible about the tools they can choose and use. Stay tuned for the latest video updates.